In the vast expanse of Australian cricket, few names resonate with such reverence as Glenn McGrath. A man who turned precision into an art form, McGrath wasn't just a fast bowler. He was a craftsman who redefined what it meant to be great. In an era dominated by fast bowlers who relied on raw pace and intimidation, McGrath carved his own path, one marked by meticulous precision and unwavering consistency. Growing up in Narromine, a small town in New South Wales where the horizon stretches endlessly into the outback, McGrath's journey from a country boy to cricket legend is a testament to the power of determination. Born on February 9, 1970, young Glenn was always different. The son of Beverly and Kevin McGrath, he spent his early years on the family farm.
Which is handy for a quick bowler, and he hasn't got many brains, which also can be handy for him as well.
Where the values of hard work and persistence were instilled in him from an early age. Even as a kid, he wouldn't just bowl, he'd study the craft. Hours after everyone else had gone home, he'd still be there, hitting the same spot over and over, perfecting what would become his trademark precision. His early cricket days were spent playing for the Narromine under-16s team, where he quickly caught the attention of local coaches. Unlike many young fast bowlers who dreamed of bowling as fast as they could, McGrath was different. He focused on accuracy, on hitting the same spot repeatedly, on making the ball do just enough to trouble the batsman. Doug Walters, the former Australian Test player, recognised McGrath's potential during a coaching clinic and encouraged him to move to Sydney to pursue his cricket career. The move to Sydney marked a turning point. Living in a caravan and working at a bank to make ends meet, McGrath's dedication to cricket never wavered. He would train in the evenings after work, focusing on perfecting his action, his run-up, his delivery stride. His first-class debut for New South Wales came in 1992, and within just 8 matches, he had done enough to catch the attention of the national selectors. The cricket world first glimpsed McGrath's potential in 1993, when he made his Test debut against New Zealand at the Waka Ground in Perth. His figures in that match was 1 for 115, gave little indication of the dominance that was to follow. But those who watched him closely saw something special. A tall, lean fast bowler with perfect balance in his action and an almost robotic consistency in his line and length. The early years of McGrath's international career were marked by steady improvement. While contemporaries like Alan Donald and Curtly Ambrose terrorised batsmen with speed and bounce, McGrath chose a different path. His mastery lay in the subtle variations, the slight angle changes, the almost imperceptible shifts in length, the relentless pressure of precision. By 1995, he had established himself as a key member of the Australian attack, forming a formidable partnership with Shane Warne that would dominate world cricket for the next decade. The 1995 West Indies tour marked McGrath's coming of age.
Melody back in her life, and for that is me playing cricket, and so she's keen for me to get back into it.
Against a team that had dominated world cricket for 2 decades, McGrath stood tall. His battles with Brian Lara became the stuff of legend, a contest between the world's most elegant batsman and a bowler who seemed to know exactly how to trouble him. Getting Lara out was always special, McGrath would later say. He was the best batsman I ever bowled to, and I knew I had to be at my absolute best every time I bowled to him. As Ricky Ponting, former Australian captain, often noted, what made Glenn special wasn't just his skill, it was his mind. He could read a batsman like a book, set them up over after over, and then strike when they least expected it. His planning was meticulous, his execution nearly perfect. In the dressing room, he always knew exactly how he wanted to dismiss each batsman. McGrath's preparation became legendary among his teammates. Before each series, he would write down the names of the opposition's key batsmen and how many times he planned to dismiss them. It wasn't just bravado, it was part of his mental preparation, his way of setting goals and maintaining focus. Former teammates speak of his meticulous attention to detail in practice sessions. He would spend hours perfecting his run-up, ensuring each step was precisely measured, each delivery hitting the same spot with unerring accuracy. Dennis Lillee, the legendary Australian fast bowler who had worked with McGrath early in his career, once remarked, "What set Glenn apart was his work ethic. He wasn't content with being good, he wanted to be the best. And he was willing to put in the hours to get there." His success wasn't just about talent, it was about the countless hours of practice, the attention to detail, the unwavering focus on improvement. The numbers tell a story of remarkable consistency and longevity. 563 Test wickets at an average of 21.64, 381 ODI wickets at 22.02, and 3 World Cup victories. But perhaps more impressive was his economy rate, a miserly 2.49 runs per over in tests. In an era when scoring rates were climbing and batsmen were becoming increasingly aggressive, McGrath remained nearly impossible to score against. He could bowl spell after spell, maintaining the same high standards, never giving the batsman a moment's respite. His record against the world's best batsmen was particularly impressive. Besides his famous battles with Brian Lara, whom he dismissed 15 times in international cricket, McGrath also had the measure of other greats. Sachin Tendulkar fell to him 13 times, Michael Atherton a record 19 times. Each of these dismissals followed a pattern: consistent pressure, subtle variations, then the killer ball that seemed to do just a little more than expected.
Yes, unfortunately, Jane's health went downhill after that, or very quickly after that, and then the rest is sort of history.
The 2005 Ashes series perhaps best illustrated McGrath's value to the Australian team. Present for the first test at Lord's, Australia dominated, with McGrath taking 9 wickets in the match. His injury before the second test changed the complexion of the series. Without McGrath's control, England's batsmen found scoring easier, and the pressure he typically created was missing. His return for the fourth test swung momentum back to Australia, before injury again ruled him out of the decisive fifth test. Michael Vaughan, England's captain during that series, acknowledged, "Glenn's absence was crucial. When he played, he gave Australia control. Without him, we could score more freely. It's rare that one player can have such an impact, but Glenn was special. His ability to maintain pressure over after over was unique." But McGrath's greatest legacy might be off the field. Following the loss of his first wife Jane to breast cancer in 2008, he established the McGrath Foundation. The organisation became his way of honouring Jane's memory while making a real difference in the lives of others affected by breast cancer. Today, it stands as one of Australia's leading breast cancer support organisations, having supported over 100,000 families and placed breast care nurses throughout Australia.
When breast cancer metastasises, it means that it is spread elsewhere in the body. And she knew that it metastasised, so one day breast cancer.
"Cricket gave me a platform, but the foundation gives me purpose," McGrath reflects. "Jane's legacy lives on through the work we do, and that means more than any cricket record. When I see the impact our breast care nurses have, when I hear the stories of families we've helped, I know this is what I was meant to do after cricket." McGrath's influence continues through the next generation of fast bowlers. At the MRF Pace Foundation in Chennai, where he serves as director, he shares his wisdom with young talents from around the world. His message to them is simple but profound. Success comes from consistency, from doing the basics well, from being patient. Young bowlers learn that greatness comes from consistency, not just talent. What made McGrath's bowling so effective was its simplicity. His basic principle never changed. Bowl just outside off stump, hit a good length, and make the batsman play. But within this simplicity lay infinite complexity. His control over line and length was so precise that he could bowl 6 deliveries in an over that looked identical, but each did something slightly different. His technical mastery was evident in every aspect of his bowling. His wrist position at release was always perfect, allowing him to maintain control even when extracting bounce. His follow-through straight down the wicket gave him accuracy other bowlers could only dream of. And his height, 6 feet 5 inches, allowed him to generate steep bounce from a good length, making him particularly effective on Australian pitches. The 2007 World Cup was McGrath's swan song, and he made it count. 26 wickets at an average of 13.73, leading wicket taker of the tournament and a third World Cup victory. It was the perfect ending to a perfect career. His final wicket, fittingly, came in the World Cup final against Sri Lanka, a tournament record that still stands today. Today's fast bowlers still study McGrath's methods. His influence can be seen in bowlers like Josh Hazlewood and Pat Cummins, players who value precision over raw pace, who understand the art of building pressure. As Pat Cummins notes, Glenn showed us that fast bowling isn't just about bowling fast. It's about outsmarting the batsman, about patience, about consistency. His legacy lives on in every Australian fast bowler. Perhaps the most visible symbol of McGrath's ongoing influence is the pink test in Sydney. Each January, the cricket world turns pink to support the McGrath Foundation, combining Australia's love of cricket with a crucial cause. The sight of the Sydney cricket ground bathed in pink has become one of cricket's most powerful images, a reminder that sport can be a force for good in the world. Today, Glenn McGrath continues to contribute to cricket as a commentator and mentor. His insights remain as sharp as his bowling once was, his understanding of the game as precise as those famous outside off-stump deliveries. He has become an elder statesman of the game, respected not just for what he achieved on the field, but for how he conducted himself off it. His impact on Australian cricket cannot be overstated. During his era, Australia dominated world cricket like few teams before or since. While much of the credit went to the team's powerful batting lineup and the genius of Shane Warne, it was McGrath's consistent excellence that often provided the foundation for success. He could defend small totals, break crucial partnerships, and wear down even the most determined batsmen. From the country fields of Narromine to the hallowed turf of Lords, Glenn McGrath's journey is a testament to the power of precision, persistence, and passion. He showed us that greatness doesn't always come from natural talent. Sometimes it comes from the willingness to do the same thing perfectly, again and again. His career teaches us that excellence is not about occasional brilliance, but about sustained performance, about turning up day after day and delivering your best. In the end, Glenn McGrath wasn't just a great fast bowler. He was an artist who painted in lines and lengths, a mathematician who calculated the angles of success, and a warrior who never backed down from a challenge. He changed the way we think about fast bowling, showing that control and consistency could be just as effective as raw pace and aggression. Cricket is simple, McGrath often says. Bowl in the right areas, be patient, and success will come. That's all I ever tried to do. Simple words from a man who turned simplicity into an art form, and in doing so, became one of cricket's greatest legends. His story continues to inspire not just cricketers, but anyone who believes in the power of dedication, persistence, and the pursuit of excellence. Glenn McGrath, the man who proved that precision could be just as intimidating as pace, and that greatness often lies in the simplest of things, done perfectly. And that brings us to the end of Glenn McGrath's remarkable story, a journey of precision, discipline, and unwavering excellence. His legacy continues to inspire cricketers and sports enthusiasts alike, proving that true greatness is built on consistency and determination. If you enjoyed this deep dive into McGrath's career, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more stories of legendary athletes. Share your thoughts in the comments. What's your favourite McGrath moment? And if you love cricket history and analysis, make sure to hit the notification bell so you never miss an upload. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.